Do we even believe anymore that the presence of God can come into a place and lay every person low? Do we know the power of the Holy Spirit? Do we know the presence of God in such a way that it seems to literally disintegrate us and then put us back together again? Oh, dear brothers, there's so much to be done in this world, and the power of the flesh will not accomplish it, and the power of the intellect will not accomplish what must be done. It is the power of the living God, and I don't understand the mystery. I can't defend the reason, but I know this, that apart from prayer, abiding, enduring, believing, prayer, we're as dead as a doorknob with all our doctrine. How I need God. I feel sometimes like I can't breathe unless I have Him. Some of you know, and maybe you have forgotten. You remember those times of tarrying in His presence, and you knew God was there. Not just because of a doctrine that told you He was omnipresent, but that presence of His was manifest in that room with you. Once that has touched your life, you can't live without that. I'm not talking about some charismatic experience. Oh, that some of you would tear yourself away and go into the woods and not return for a week. That you would climb up one of these mountains and grab rocks from the ground and throw them at heaven and say, I will not surrender this wrestling until you touch my life, until you change me, until there's something of God on me. Nor will I allow TV preachers and evangelists, many of them heretics, and movements to steal the Holy Spirit from me. I will not be afraid of Him. I will not turn in my heritage or my mantle as a man of God because other people speak falsely with regard to the Spirit of God and His power upon their life. I will not. I have a book here. And in this book is the book of Acts. And I see in that book mighty works of God. It's not the acts of men, it's the acts of God through men. And I see things that apparently Christ saw that His men needed. Do you realize they saw Him resurrected and yet some still doubted? They were still afraid. And it wasn't until the mighty wind of the Spirit of God blew through them, was poured out on them. There's so much wrangling today about the text, and we miss the entire meaning of the text. Yes, we have to look at it correctly to defend ourselves and our flocks from those who would interpret it wrongly. But at the same time, do not miss the point. They needed power from on high. Can't you not hear that God is speaking? Biblical things are being told to you at this moment. I am not a great systematic theologian. I know my limitations. I am not a scholar. I will not stand in seminaries, and I so appreciate men who do. If it weren't for them, I don't know where the direction of my life would have gone. I so need brilliant men. I am not one of those, but the one thing I can tell you is that all my life I have been needy, and I have been weak, and I have been slow, and I have been afraid, but it caused me to run to Him, and in running to Him, there is such glory. There is such power. There is such life. You see, it's not just they need correct thinking. For men to even be able to grasp with their mind, it must be a thing of Ezekiel, can these dead bones live? There is nothing impossible in prayer. There is nothing impossible. So many believers with besetting sins in their life, and they think that literally that's the way it's just always going to be. So content with slavery. Instead of going to their knees and crying out to God until they're delivered from that sin. Pastors, we preach and we preach and we preach and we preach and we preach, but where is the demonstration of power? Yes, men are changed through preaching, but have you ever seen men changed through your prayer life? Have you ever silently labeled a few men that you were going to focus your prayer life upon and hit your knees and fought and wrestled until Christ is formed in them and you saw a maturity and a glow and a life that was absolutely unexplainable apart from the power of the living God? Most ministers today have sold their ministry to Fifth Avenue and to marketing and to culturally sensitive business models of church. It's absolutely pathetic, but don't sell your ministry to mere scholarship. You are a man of God. That would suppose that you dwell with Him in secret prayer. Secret prayer. Secret prayer. Every conflict in your life, every brokenness in your body has one purpose. It's to send you to your knees. Every conflict, every battle. Today, there's no battle fought in this pulpit. It was fought this morning at 5 o'clock. It's not fought here. It's fought in prayer. It's won in prayer. The thing is done in prayer. The thing is done in prayer. Is the presence of God a reality in your life?